Hello there.
Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, what have we here?
Jedi, we've been expecting you.
Knew I could count on you.
Hello.
Welcome to the rebellion.
What fun!
What's up, everyone? Hybrid here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about a figure wish list. Now, we are ramping up for The Mandalorian and Grogu. It is a very exciting movie for me. I am so excited to go see this one in theaters. I'm already pretty sure I will be grabbing the AT-AT popcorn bucket. That is my goal, to try and track that down. I'm completely in on the merchandising for this movie, and again, looks great. But you got to remember, The Mandalorian started out as a Disney Plus show, and there are some figures from that show that we still desperately need, and Hasbro hasn't gotten to yet. Now, I understand you got to prioritize the movie, but I'm more just throwing this out there in the hopes that, some of the people at Hasbro that are always kind of watching the YouTube scene might click on it and be like, yep, can't forget these guys. So I came up with a list of 10 characters that I genuinely think need to be brought into the Mandalorian line of the Black Series sooner rather than later, preferably. So let's go. They are in no particular order. So, starting off with, this one's a personal favorite of mine, Pelimoto. Look, she is funny. I don't care if you don't like loud humor. I think she's funny. I love her. I am so excited when she pops up in any episode. I get she's not, the most popular, ever, but we have gotten so many figures that relate to her at this point. Why do we have all of the droids from her shop and not actually her? Are you kidding me? She is, one of the most glaringly missing members of Mando's crew at this point, and it's just bizarre that we haven't gotten her yet. So Pelimoto, personally, very much looking for her. Up next is Bo-Katan in her Season 3 look. Bo-Katan went through some refining between Seasons 2 and 3. She gets a new shoulder pauldron armor. It's in Beskar Silver. It looks really, really good. It has the Mythosaur signet on it. She gets the dark saber. She also gets, a way less chopped haircut this season. And the new haircut lays a little bit flatter to her head, too. So if you wanted to do the removable helmet, I think it would still work. But it's just we need this refresh of Bo-Katan. And the Vintage Collection got her. So I'm going to say it. Balance the scales, Hasbro. I don't know what it means, but all of the Happy Meal collectors say it every time we get a Black Series. So, come on, Hasbro. You give it to one, but not the other? You got a favorite kid here? What are you doing? So, anyways, moving on from Bo-Katan, I want the IG-11 Marshall. I'm going to use this example every time there is one, but again, he's got the Vintage Collection treatment. Very, very recently, mind you, but still, IG-11, if he appears in any media going forward, is going to look like this. He's going to have his Marshall markings for Navarro. It's a very cool look. It is a heartwarming scene at the end of the third season. The hero returns and is repaired and is able to go on his duty defending his planet, and it's just legendary. Come on, we need a Marshall IG-11. So yeah, I want him. Up next, no Vintage Collection precedent, but I kind of want Elia Kane, or Elia Kane, Elia Kane. We always just hear her called Miss Kane, she's a sneaky one, she is infiltrating the New Republic. She's obviously still loyal to Moff Gideon. I am in that fan base that does not believe Moff Gideon is dead. I think that was a clone in Season 3, but who knows what the future's going to tell. Either way, she is still an Imperial plant in the New Republic. She has been in she had a great episode in Mando Season 3. She was always around Moff Gideon in Season 2. I'd like to see her in her Imperial garb, but gotta flesh it out a little bit, We've got Moff Gideon, we've got a bunch of troopers, we don't really have any of Moff Gideon's, allies, and so I think she would be really cool to get. I think she's, the one to do if you were gonna do one. Up next, come on, we gotta put respect on the late, great Carl Weathers. We need a Season 3 High Magistrate Grief Karga. I don't want it to be way crazy reuse of the prior Grief Kargas we've gotten, like the Season 2 one was. I would like them to do it modern, do it trust justice, true through and through, make it something good, something honorable, for a great character. I love Grief Karga. It genuinely makes me sad that in media going forward, we're not going to hear Mando anymore just from off screen when you know that the GOAT is coming on. It breaks my heart that the show's not going to have that going forward. I think we need to immortalize him in plastic and add him to our shelves. A great companion piece to Grief Karga would be his protocol droid, CU-28. And, he's a really cool variant of a protocol droid. He's basically 3PO from the neck down, but the head is where he's different. And while he doesn't have a vintage collection, he has one of those Disney Build-A-Droid things, so that's good enough to me. Balance the scales, come on. I think that if you were going to do Grief, you could do this droid. I think it'd be very cool to, get that little complimentary piece. We got Grief Karga's astromech droid. Darn it. Come on. We need to get this guy. So, would very much like to see CU-23 or 28 come to the line. Up next, again, kind of rounding out a squad from earlier, and he would be great in other scenes. I want the Mythrol. Again, he got a vintage collection, and I think the Mythrol would be really cool. We just got that new Pegadon Mandalorian, and this would be a great complementary piece. He's on Pegadon to track down the Mythrol. He would be really cool posed up next to your Season 2 Grief Karga and your Cara Dune figures, because he was on that episode where they were infiltrating the Imperial base. I think that there's just some potential to, have some really cool display options. The Mythrol, he's not a main character. He's a fun character. I like him. I think he would be just a really fun guy to add to the shelf. Not every figure needs to be a main character, And if you want to get into the glup shittos of the Star Wars universe, I don't care about Cantina aliens or Jabba's palace denizens. I like characters like the Mythrol, where they actually are actually a little bit of a character sometimes, not just a no-name in the background. Up next, I want that Mandalorian judge. We got so many Mandos from Season 3, and they were all the Shriek-Hawks or the, Death Watch or your Night Owls. And I would like this guy. He was really cool. He was in that great scene where where Grogu starts kind of training to do more than just Jedi, baby stuff. He's going to start learning how to use some weapons and be a Mandalorian, trainee. And the judge just has a really cool design. I love the orange helmet, and he's just a good-looking figure. I think he'd be easy to do if, so many repaint opportunities for parts here. I think he would be a very low-cost, easy opportunity type of figure. He would just be really cool. Up next, this guy, he's a little bit more of a Legends character, but I think he would still be really cool to get in the Black Series, is Gilad Palian. I have not read the books, or I guess listened to the audiobooks. I don't know how the first name goes, but Palian for sure. He, of course, was from the old Thrawn novelizations, and then he has been brought into the world of the Mandalorian. We've only seen him in hologram form, but he is wearing an Imperial officer outfit, and we know what those look like, so just make a non-hologram version. He's obviously going to be relevant going forward. He seems to be keeping communication between Thrawn and Moff Gideon open in Season 3. He is one of Thrawn's right-hand men. Maybe we might see him in the Ahsoka series, so that might be where he ultimately ends up. But he first appears in The Mandalorian Season 3, and I think this would be a very complimentary figure to have on the shelf next to Admiral Thrawn. So I would like to add him to the shelf. Come on, Hasbro, get working. It's an Imperial officer body. Make the head sculpt, slap it on, stick it on shelves. And then finally, I did say this was in no particular order, but I did save the most important one for last. Where the heck is my Black Series Carson Teva at? Are you kidding me? He is the GOAT. He has been showing up for ages at this point. He has been interconnecting all of these series. He is the Agent Coulson, if you will, from Marvel. of the Star Wars universe. He is starting to connect all of these characters from all these separate adventures, and he is going to be hugely important going forward. I love this character, and I really need him on the shelf. And again, balance the scales, Hasbro. You made him in Vintage Collection. Took years to get that Vintage Collection, too. It's fairly recent, but, like, the demand is high. He would go great on the shelf next to the Trapper Wolf Dave Filoni figure. They partnered up in Season 2, and they are both Delphi Rangers, so it would be cool to get them, especially now that we are getting this Colonel Ward figure, who apparently is the leader of the Delphi Rangers. It would be really cool to flesh out the squad a little bit. I would like to get him in his pilot gear. Of course, the leather jacket over the pilot gear is also an iconic look, so whatever you want to do, game is game, Hasbro. But, I need him. I want him. I would like him on the shelf. Hop to it, Hasbro. So, that said, those are 10 figures from The Mandalorian that we have not gotten in the line yet, that I just don't want to be forgotten as we really focus on the movie going forward. So, what do you think? Is there anyone from the show that you want on the shelf you haven't seen in the line yet? Fire off in the comments down below. Keep it chill. Remember, we're just talking about toys. May the Force be with you, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.